Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to today's SME Club event. For those of you who I've not met before, and unfortunately you're only meeting my voice this morning as my camera's broken, but my name's Ruby James. I'm the events lead at Virgin Money in Manchester, and we're delighted to be sponsors of today's event. Our teams have been working really hard to support customers with all of their money matters, and please do get in touch if we can support you with your business banking, or if you'd like to find out more about our newly launched current account and all the great further benefits of being a Virgin Money customer. We'd love to hear how you found today's event, so please do tag us in any of your social media posts. We are at Virgin Money on all social platforms. And finally, today's topic is top tips for building an award-winning team. And for now, I'll hand over to our speaker, Gaynor Rigby from Equilibrium Financial Planning, to get things started.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to unmute myself. I'm going to share my screen. Oops. There we go. Technology. There we go. So, yes, my name's Gaynor Rigby. I'm managing partner at Equilibrium. We have a team of about 90 people and growing at the moment. And here are my tips. Basically, a passion of mine is the team, growing the team, having a happy team. We've been in the Times Top 100, Top 10 for the past 4 years, which we're very, very proud of, and also won some additional awards for employee engagement and well-being over those years as well. So the presentation today is about how to build a team who are happy in their jobs, do their absolute best for their clients, and also want to create something bigger and better for themselves. So that's what I'm going to try and cover off. I have a lot to say on this topic, so hopefully I am clear and there's some structure to it so I can share my thoughts on it without going too much off piste and becoming a bit rambly. So, recipe for success. The first and foremost thing for us has been that we put the team first. So for us, it's been about if we take care of the team, then the team will take care of the clients and deliver great service, which then generates shareholder value. And that's actually kind of a flip on what the Companies Act of 2006 actually says, which is to do with actually creating shareholder value first, and then it almost is like we flipped it around. So shareholder value at the clients and your team at the bottom. And there's lots of studies out there that says that actually you get better shareholder value actually if you focus on looking after your team first. And I've just put a link on there because we wrote a blog about it if anyone wanted to go read just about the Companies Act and generally just doing business better, which is one of our other passions. Culture eats strategy for breakfast, a quote from Peter Drucker, that essentially everything starts with your team. Everything starts with your biggest asset, which are your team members. And from that, then everything else trickles down. And we've kind of really taken that philosophy on board. And that's how we've structured how we focus on things. Our management meetings, we spend as much time talking about the team and the culture as we do about marketing, as we do about finance. And we've really done that for the past 10 years since I've been in the business, because we understood just how important the team were and kind of making them happy, but also having them be able to deliver to the clients. Another great resource is Tom Peters. He's written a book, In Search of Excellence, and a number of other things. And he's also one of the business gurus that focuses on the team being at the heart of what you're able to deliver. And if you look after your people, then they in turn will look after the clients and deliver to the shareholders. There's also lots of articles and resources on our careers website if anyone wanted to go and get a bit more information on specific topics without me having to go into them here. The other thing that I just wanted to go slightly off piste on, particularly under these circumstances with lockdown and corona and the changing environment, we've got the rules coming from the government changing, is just kind of from the team's perspective or people's perspective, what that feels like. And Tony Robbins talks about 6 human needs. And the first one is certainty. And I think for a lot of us, our certainty has gone down. So we're not sure what the rules are. We're not sure what we can do. We're not sure whether we're safe to be in the office. And just from a feeling of general security, people's certainty has gone down. There's a level of uncertainty and variety that people want in their lives. And I would say while certainty has gone down, the uncertainty has skyrocketed as well. Again, leading to just generally people's demeanor and general kind of well-being feeling isn't where it would have been maybe in the past, just because of everything that we're dealing with. People's levels of significance may have gone down as well. So if you've been furloughed, if you have been on reduced pay, what your contribution is. A lot of people get significance out of their work. And if you've not been able to work, then people's general feeling of significance can have gone down. Connection and love, that's, you know, being able to interact with your friends and your family, give hugs, just be able to be close to people. Again, due to the coronavirus and the rules and the restrictions that we've got in place, particularly if you're Greater Manchester and Trafford like me, that's gone down. And then growth and learning. So depending on your circumstance, you might have been able to do more learning because you've had time available, or you might have had no time because you've been working longer hours, as can happen when you're working at home. It's hard to delineate from being at work and being at home. And so that growth and learning may have been one of the 2 camps. And contribution, just generally, you know, giving back to charity. You would say that NHS and key workers have probably felt that their contribution and their importance has gone up, whilst other people who might have been able to support charities and help other people out, that's gone down, just due to the restrictions that we've had. And the reason that I bring this up in a kind of a bit of a nutshell, a quick version of it is just the general sentiment of people in the team. And I think the underlying premise would be that there's a lot of uncertainty. People don't feel supported necessarily. They feel uncertain. Everything's changing. Everything's on its head. And that can manifest in work environments where people might be having reactions to things or responding to things in a way that's uncommon or not characteristics of them. Like I know for myself, there's been so much uncertainty and so many things that I've been dealing with at work that it's almost like I've gotten at times maybe very adamant about things that I needed done in a certain way, which would be uncharacteristic of me, but it's like I just need it done that way. I just need to know that it's happening like that and it looks like this, because everything else has just been up. It's like, you know, you've had the multiple plates that you're spinning and all the balls that you've got up in the air, and you just want to know one thing's just the same as it was before. Colin Lawson, our founder, actually just this week, last week, did a presentation on that. So if anyone wanted to get a better version of that, you can go online and listen to it. And also another great resource is Tony Robbins. Oh, we've put Toby there. Tony Robbins, also talking about it on YouTube. So I think is a really good resource to be able to understand, or to just get some understanding of where we're all at, and maybe why people's responses or reactions to things that are going on in work, or what they feel that they need from work, is different than it might have been in the past. Anyway, that was just my side off-piste bit. So in terms of getting back to the plan, or what I'm talking about, so to be able to build a team who are happy in their jobs, do their absolute best for their clients, and want to create something bigger and better for themselves. Well, the first thing that you need is you need to state as a business or as a team what your vision is. And that goes beyond what your goals are, what your targets are. The vision that I'm talking about is the fleshed out, you can visualize it, it's got a lot of emotion around it. And what we did at Equilibrium is I was at a course over in Phoenix and came across this gentleman, Cameron Herold, who's, excuse me, written a book called Vivid Vision. And in it, he describes a structure to be able to put the vision of your business into a document, which we have done. You basically take the next 3 years and you talk about not only what your measurable, almost like the KPI element of what you want the business to look like, but also the motive, how you want the team to feel, what impact you want to have in your community, why you do what you do, and you document it. So for anyone that wants to see ours, you can go onto our website and see the full version. It's about 6 A4 pages where we talk about what teams we want to grow, how many people are in the company, what our turnover's been, how many clients we've got, but also talks in a very colourful way about what we want the vision or the purpose of the business to be. And once you've established that, then what we did was we surveyed. So then you need to know where people feel they are at, or the team is at, in terms of, are they aligned to the vision? Do they understand what the vision of the business is? Excuse me. And the Times 100 has a pretty comprehensive survey that that we all complete in around the November time, and we've done that for the past 4 years. But one of the things that I did when I first came to the business was that we did a survey just as a bit of a litmus test for where people were at in terms of, did they feel that they understood what the goals of the business were? Did they feel that they were included? Did they know what was going on? And we used that as a baseline. So each year we send out a survey to the team with a series of questions. It's anonymous, asking them whether they strongly agree or disagree. There's a core that we've used every year, so we actually get to go back 10 years to see how our scores have evolved or changed or have stayed the same. And it basically covers off learning and development, the leadership, service and quality, and whether the people that are leading the business are demonstrating the values and the vision. And so I've just put this one up so that if you were going to create your own survey to send out, these were the things that you would cover off. I also found a free resource, which you can click on here, that has basically got the 20 simple questions that you could use if you wanted to survey in your business. And it kind of covers off the categories on this previous slide. What we did was we took basically a free survey and tweaked some of the questions that were particularly relevant to our business or to the terminology that we use, whether you use manager or board member or team member, or just little things that kind of make it more personalized to Equilibrium. We use SurveyMonkey as a tool to get people to complete that. It can be anonymous, and then you can run reports from SurveyMonkey to show either the answer to the questions. You can follow one person's answers throughout the series of questions. We also have a free form box at the end that asks if there's anything that you would do differently in the business, what would that be? Because you get some really good suggestions in there, or things that are on people's minds. So this year, when we've done our survey, we've had a lot of comments around the continued flexi working at home. And so we'll be able to, well, one, discuss that as a senior management team, but also to be able to explain what our rules are going forward for that. So there's a lot of information in there. And one of the things that we always do is we loop back round to the team. So we share the results. Excuse me. We share the results with everyone in the business, so it's completely transparent, so everyone gets to see all the answers. And whilst we're an award-winning team, there are always a few outliers that aren't happy with something, but that's available. There's no names on it, but you can see if you've got a couple of people that are not happy with things. So basically, then you get your results. So either they're hopefully a lot happy smiley faces down to the few grumbly faces. And from the whole survey, then what we have been able to do is that we look at particular areas that we need to get better on. So if the scores aren't, or the results are where we thought they were, sometimes we have had results that have surprised us because we thought we had communicated or we thought we had explained what the targets were. But if people are responding back to say that they don't understand it, obviously how we've done it wasn't landing and didn't work well enough. And so we've been able to focus on that particular area. So essentially then what we come up with is what we're going to work on. So to recap, it's like we create the vision, which right now is a static, it's a static document for the next 3 years. We've got 1 more year to go about what our vision is and what our purpose is. Then we survey to find out in various areas whether people understand what the vision and the purpose is, whether they feel that the senior management team are aligning to that. Are they happy in their job? Do they feel supported? You get your results and then you figure out what you're going to work on. I thought it would be useful to go through what the categories of the Times 100 survey falls under. There are 8 of them, and essentially kind of gives you a score either with the Times 100 or if you create your own. These are the areas that essentially kind of tell you whether people are aligned and whether they're feeling good in their role and what areas that you might want to come up with a strategy for. So the first one is my manager. So 7 out of 10 people who quit are leaving their manager, not their company. The other category is my company, how proud people are to work where they do or to work for you. The team, so basically, do they like their team members? And a great team spirit can foster productivity. Leadership, so the people that are leading the company and setting the direction of it, if they feel that the leadership is good, then it rolls down that the management is good, and therefore then people don't leave. Personal growth, so how much time is spent on giving people the opportunity to learn with even within their role, or even outside of their role to get new skills that they might be interested in developing. Fair deal, so whether people feel that they are being appreciated, is their salary, is their package commensurate with what else is out there? Do they feel that they're being taken care of? Wellbeing, so the balance between work and home life. So are they on call 24/7, or do they get time off? Is their holiday package? What other things do they feel that they have a life outside of work? And giving something back, so essentially their ability to support the community around them and generally give back to the wider environment. So my manager, so like I said before, 7 out of 10 people who quit are leaving their manager, not the company. So some of the things that we have in place to ensure that people feel that their manager is doing a good job is that our managers have regular check-ins with each of the team members. So there are weekly huddles. We are also got our radar up for someone who seems to be struggling, particularly in this environment. And a lot of people are in our business are still working from home. So it's for the manager to check that it feels like the vibe that you're getting, and it's very difficult over Zoom sometimes to read people, but are they doing okay? Are they coping? Is there any support or additional things that we could be doing? We do annual appraisals, and there is a particular structure to our appraisals that year on year then we're able to go back and compare. And I've just put up on the screen the types of questions that we ask that allow for the team member and their manager to have really great conversations. So not just the manager to give feedback, though we do give feedback regularly and we have a feedback culture, but also to get each team person to think about what they're proud of within their role and what's gone to plan over the last 12 months and what do they like about their job and where might they want their career to go, to, and do they understand what our goals are and what salary expectations might they have. And it's through that conversation, whilst you don't necessarily need to go through every single question as a tick box, what it does elicit is a really great conversation, so that one, on the receiving end, that people feel like they're being heard and they have a voice and they get to talk about where they want to go. And from the manager's perspective is to understand maybe where someone's challenges are, is to understand what their long-term career aspirations are, what their goals are, where they might want to be in the business, or what they see their evolution of their career to be. And you get from that some really great conversations. Works for the manager, but it also works for the team member, I think, because people feel heard and it feels like we're interested in where they're going and what their journey is, which we are. We also do 6 months appraisals, so it's not just an annual review. We check in more officially at the 6-month mark, check everything's still on track. 12 months can be a long time in between official check-ins, and a lot can change for someone in that time frame. So 6 months appraisals also allows for feedback, but also to touch base and check that things are still on track. And the other conversation that we have with the team is around, it's the A-player matrix, and there's a lot of information online about this, which essentially is to rank people from whether they are low, medium or high potential, meaning do you as a manager see that someone has got growth potential? Are they growing and learning? And then also in relation to what their actual performance is now. And depending on what box they end in, or where you would rank them, kind of depends on the additional support that they might get. So on the screen, if you can see the yellow boxes, if you're in the medium potential and medium performance, the support that someone might need over the next 6 to 12 months might be more around coaching, or are there any particular skills that we need to hone? If someone's in low potential but high performance, then people in those boxes just want to feel recognized. You might not be getting, they might not be going to set the world on fire with what else they can accomplish, but they're a hugely valuable member of the team because they're performing at a high level. And what you do for that person is just make sure that you positively reinforcing what a great job they're doing. The red box is if you've got someone with low potential and low performance, you've potentially got yourselves a bit of an issue there that kind of you need to decide which way you're going to go with it, whether you feel that with a bit of a course correction someone might then jump into one of the other boxes, or whether actually it's time to maybe do a PIP performance review with them and nicely get them to exit the business. Anyway, but basically by putting someone in the grid, they understand where they're at, and then also you can articulate, or you can figure out what the training and support plan is for them as well. The team also have weekly team huddles, and we also have instituted our academy, which is kind of our training program that we've developed over the past few years that give people access to training that is outside of maybe the more academic skills, and more in terms of presentation skills or confidence, or books that we suggest that they should read. A great one that we've had people read is Driven by Daniel Pink, and it talks about your inherent drive to get things done. We call it kind of batteries included, where you've got your own personal motivation around it. And so we provide opportunities for people to get training, not only within what their job is in the technical elements of it, but also a broader, more personal growth element. The company is whether people are proud to work for the company and whether they feel like they're making a difference. This goes back to sharing the vision. So the document that I referenced earlier on is something that we give out to everyone in the business. It's also on our website. We give it to people when we're hiring. So it's very clearly we're putting out there what it is that we do and why we do it. And our purpose, whilst we're in financial services and it might feel like our job is to make people more money, it isn't. Our purpose is to make people's lives better. And making people's lives better is our team members. Making people's lives better is our clients. Making people's lives better is our community. And because we talk about that all the time, and because we reference that when we're making decisions in the business, that we are kind of layering that philosophy. So when we do things for the team, it's because we want to make their lives better. When we're asking the team to go above and beyond, which has happened quite a few times through this lockdown and potentially is going to continue through for the next little while, is that they understand that it's because we want to make the clients' lives better. And then I'll come on to it later. We've also got what we do in our community. Out of our purpose came our core values. And our core values are integrity, excellence, simplicity, and growth. And the same way that we talk about making people's lives better, we also talk about how we've exhibited integrity and our expectation that that's how the team will function. And we give examples of if we've made a mistake for a client and fixing it, because that falls under our integrity value. The fact that we strive for excellence and that we want the work that we deliver to the clients and the service that we deliver to our clients to be of that standard. So basically everything that we do, because we talk about it all the time, is a layering and it builds the culture. One of the things, I mean, this whole vision, purpose and core value has been so key for us to be able to continue to run the business through lockdown, sorry. It's been because we were able to relate back to making people's lives better. So the things that we've done for the team during lockdown, they understood, it was well received because they knew we were trying to do it to make people's lives better, their lives better. For example, we've had a couple of Equilibrium bank holidays where we closed the business because everyone was getting fried and burnt out, and we wanted to make sure everyone was getting a rest and pack their computers up at home and actually have a break from it. But because we talk about making people's lives better, they understood that gesture. When we asked at the beginning of lockdown that we were going to call all of our clients and check in with them, and that took a lot of time, and people spent some time on the weekend because it was to do with making people's lives better, then they understood why we were asking them to do that. The other thing that we did was that we created our team charter, and it was done at one of our quarterly briefings where through some technology, we had people vote and comment on what they thought would be in our team charter. And so this is what we came up with. Basically, we got some themes and ideas, and then the senior management team kind of put them into our 12, I don't know what rules or things that we abide by, and then we've put that back out to the team. So again, there's an element of contribution and everything that we do aligning to our vision, purpose and values. We also communicate very, very regularly with the team. So monthly on a Monday, we have an hour. It used to be done in person where we would all get together in our kind of canteen, we call it the mess. And we would all get together and we would run through, either we would pick one of our core values that we would give examples of how we had exhibited that core value. We've run quarterly themed, so one quarter where we wanted to see examples of excellence within the business and people could nominate their other team members, and we had a way through technology to track that, and then there was a winner. We've got simplicity coming up this next quarter because there's a lot in the business that has got complicated. So we are going to ask for examples of either areas that we can make more simple or queries around why we're doing things a particular way. And also if someone has taken something that's very complicated, we're in financial services and there's a lot of regulation and a lot of speak and a lot of reports and a lots of paper. that can we do something to make that easier for people to, for us to produce, but also for the clients to understand. And so simplicity is a focus for us coming up. Each quarter, we would have a larger briefing, so 2 hours, and we would go over the quarter's results. We very clearly set out each quarter what our targets are. So financially, what our targets are, some of the KPIs underneath it, and then regularly on a weekly basis, we will keep everyone in the business up to speed as to where we're doing against it. If there's any area that we need rallying, for example, if we've got some invoices that are outstanding, we might kind of put out there that we need to get some money in and we need to collect it, and then everyone over that week can focus on that. So there's a lot of communication, but our quarterly themes, our quarterly ones might be, we might have a guest speaker in, or if for a particular area or value that we want to add. And then we have an annual team briefing where we recap the year. It's a bit of fun, a lot of community building. We have an awards that we do where we celebrate people. This year we had like the COVID King or Queen or our unsung heroes, and the team get to vote on those. And so really what I'm saying is that we have very regular communication with the team all the time, so that everyone knows what's going on, that they're kept up to date with where we're at with our targets, if there's any messaging that we need to put out there, that we can do that. Through at the start of lockdown, probably for about 3 months, I did a video every day. Obviously we weren't together, everyone was working from home, and one of the things that I did was I did a video every day that we put out through our Teams technology, just letting people know what was going on in the business, reassuring them about their jobs, telling them what was going on with the clients, generally giving an overview of the emotional roller coaster, the COVID coaster that we were all on, talking about having bad days and good days, and we're all in it together, and just kind of really a pep talk. But it was very, very well received, but partly because we had communicated so transparently and honestly before that, that to then have that communication from me and then other members of the team over that period felt very genuine and part of our community building and being part of a bigger business. The other element is just having people that you work with that you like. I mean, nobody likes the bad egg and the person who's like a mood hoover. And so we have put in place, we call it the spirit team. We have a group of people that are self-appointed, and they get a budget for the year, and they put together things to do with the team to foster team spirit. So whether it's Easter hampers or organising barbecues when we could all be in person, or getting pizza in. We've had advent calendars at Christmas. We have had raffles for things, put on quizzes, just generally for them to, almost like the social committee, that they put together ideas and gestures and things so that we all get to either be in each other's company, or that we get to hang out and do something fun. They would organise team socials, again, when we could go out and about, either in our office or organising to go out and have drinks or play pool or some other social things. Again, to reference back to the team charter, so it's kind of our code of conduct of how we act and respond with one another, that we don't want mood hoovers and bad eggs. We also have set up, when people join the business, a buddy system, just because we're big, we're quite big now. There's 90 of us, and it can be quite difficult to navigate and know what's appropriate, and are you dressed right, and does this work, and have I done that right? So we would set people up with a buddy so that they've got someone to ask their questions to, and they don't feel kind of alone and isolated. The other thing that I've just instituted, put in place recently, is the Gaynor Gets to Know. Because we've still got a lot of people who are working from home, and we've got some new hires, and some of the new people that I've hired won't know everyone and won't have had a chance to meet them in person, that I do a video every week where I have a chat with a a team member, either a new team member or a long-standing team member, and just a chit chat. It's not really to do with work. You know, you find out what someone's favorite sandwich is, or who they would invite to dinner, and hopefully just again making people feel like they know who they're working with and that they have a feel and a sense, and it creates a sense of community. And they've actually gone down a bit of a storm. I've got a nickname right now, is Gaynor Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey's my idol as well. So so they're going down really well. Again, when we were in the office all together, we would provide breakfast, and not just for the perk element, just for the social and camaraderie. You know, when people are making their brew or getting their toast or making their eggs, that they actually spoke and interacted with one another. And I think when people feel that they know who they're working with and they trust who they're working with, and that creates a sense of kind of community, and we're in it together and helping one another out. That's happened a lot through lockdown, where we've had people with circumstances at home that have made it difficult at times for them, particularly when the kids were off school. And so we were able to pull together as a team to help one another out. I did say in one of the videos that we were interested in delivering the results, not who was doing what. And that if we needed to rally to support someone on the team in the short term, then that's what we did. And I have to say, I couldn't have been prouder of everyone at Equilibrium as to how they've rallied and done that for their team members. Next category was leadership, and that it has an impact beyond the boardroom. So like I've said before, we have transparency with our financials. So what our goal is, we talk about banking, we talk about revenue, we report on that every week. We talk about our new asset wins. We did a lot of videos. It's what we focus on, the goals and the tracking numbers. Again, this is not just about the numbers. It's being an authentic leader and providing direction and providing reassurance and providing a communication and people feeling like you've got their back. And we have done that through lockdown, through our videos, through our communication and the information that we share. We also have a thing, again, when we were in lockdown, and we're going to have to probably get creative on how we do this, that people get to have conversations with our board, just to get to know them more and to realize that we're not scary and we're not people that you can't speak with. So again, for you to get a feel for who we are and how we make decisions and what the goals and the direction of the business is. Again, that leads back to our purpose and our vision and our core values. So we kind of put that out there all the time as to where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing it. The other element is personal growth. I mentioned earlier on about the academies. So we are in financial services, and a lot of people have got aspirations and goals about being an advisor, and that comes with not only technical skills, but also skills in coaching and objection handling and things like that. So our academies train people in those soft skills, but also we wanted to make sure that people knew that there were career opportunities outside being an advisor. And so we give people soft skills coaching and training around leadership and managing people, and books that we're reading that we think are just good for people to read and get another perspective on, or there might be some specialist positions within the business as well. So our academies have created as a more official training program, collaboration, confidence boost builder for people that want to grow within the business. The Growth Zone was a less intense version of that. Again, maybe more self-motivated learning. Watch this video, go on and watch a TED Talk for example. We've had other people come into the business and give speeches. So we had Ollie Ollerton from SAS Who Dares Wins, Drew Povey, again, for people who want to learn and know more, and who are interested in other perspectives, and just generally kind of sponges for information. We also give paid exam leave and study time, and we also have a communications channel within our Teams setup where we will post videos that we think just generally across the business people might be interested in listening to, or books that we've read or the senior team have read, or anyone's read actually, that we think might be interested for other people in the business to have a look at. Fair deal is really just for us about the compensation package to make sure that you can be competitive, and also people feel that they're being appreciated and they're being paid fairly for the job that they do. So we annually look at salaries and make sure everyone's in the right banding, and there are increases based on academic levels or a promotion. We benchmark against external surveys, and then our general holiday package. We have a personal bonus, which is to do with someone's personal KPIs, and that's paid quarterly. We have a team bonus that's paid on the business reaching their goals. Obviously, we've got the pension contributions, but I think a big selling point for us is the holiday package that we put together. So 33 days holiday and bank holidays. And one of the reasons that we've done this now for almost 10 years, is that we want people to be rested and rejuvenated and to have their mojo and batteries included to work hard when they're in work. And when you're tired and you're burnt out, that's really difficult to do. And particularly, I would say, for our team members over shutdown, people have worked probably longer hours. I think if I was worried, or if I had in the back of my head was, are people going to, do a full day's work going into shutdown? Because how can we check? That hasn't been an issue at all. I think everyone's gone above and beyond, almost to the fact where we've had to make sure that people turn their computers off on the weekend, and we've reminded them about packing their stuff away. Like I said before, we've done the bank holidays, because you don't want work to be the be all and end all for somebody. You want people to have enough time to be able to spend time with their families, to travel, to have life experiences outside work that actually make them a more rounded, interesting, calm, rested, innovative, creative person, so that when they come back into the office, they're bringing all of that experience and passion and commitment and caring into their role. And we found that works really well. Wellbeing, I mean, this has probably been a massive one over lockdown. And again, because we had been doing this before, all of the things that we've been able to do over lockdown have been very well received. But we have offer counselling sessions, we've done meditation sessions. When we were in the office, there were massages. We've had external speakers on nutrition and wellbeing. We've had a virtual GP. And we had our COVID calendar of connection, which was particularly probably over that first 12 weeks, we were making sure people were all right. We sent out care packages to them. We sent out badges and plants and biscuits and chocolates and things, just to try and make sure everyone felt that they were still connected. That's just a bit of an overview of what we did in the beginning, and there's more information on our Instagram if anyone would just want to see what else we've been up to. But the well-being isn't just about like the nice stuff. It's feeling like the business cares about you as a person, not what your job is. And we have sent out mental health surveys to people to check that they were feeling like they were coping. We have stepped in on occasion with people that have been struggling within their role due to external circumstances, and being able to evolve their working hours, or just giving them some time off to be able to recharge their batteries. We send out a happiness survey, is what we call it, every quarter, just as a kind of pulse point as to whether people are feeling all right. And whilst we'd started that prior to going into lockdown, it's been invaluable for us going through this period to make sure that we are providing the support and we are understanding really the corona journey that we're all on together. This was the word bubble that we did after the first 3 months of lockdown, which I was very, very proud of. But I think as we get further on to this, it's going to be more important for us to keep checking in with people and making sure that they're feeling all right, that they're not working too hard, that they feel like they're coping. Because if I go back to the beginning, if you look after the team will take care of the clients then create the shareholder value. And so at this point of the corona journey, I need to make sure that people are not burning out, that they've not got at-home fatigue, that they're not feeling lonely, that they're not feeling disconnected, because when all of those things start to happen, then it makes it more and more difficult to really be bothered and have the level of detail that's required to service our clients. So we really, right now, we're on another loop of making sure that people are feeling like they are, as much as they can, in control, that they are managing or coping at home or whatever working environment that they've got. And so this pulse questionnaire has been really important, very important for us. And the other one is about giving back. So if our purpose is making people's lives better, we do that for the team, we do that for our clients, and then we do that for our community. The business has a charitable foundation that we've set up. We have a group of individuals that are our charity champions. They're self-appointed, and they look for opportunities in the past where we could go out and use charity days, because each team member has got 3 charity days that they can use to go out and volunteer in the community. We also have the Give As You Earn, and I've got diamond status because over 40% of the people in the business are donating to a charity. They have chosen their charities, and then actually the foundation will match that and then give money to the charity. So last year it was almost £10,000 we were able to give to the charities of choice of our team. And we have a community support scheme, a program where in 3 areas in and around our office, people can apply for a community scheme grant of £500, and we get a lot of nominations from via our team members as to community programs that might want some additional resources. We were also, that I am very proud of, at the beginning of shutdown, gave almost £60,000 to various charities that had been hit through funding or lack of funding because they couldn't do events, and we've been able to support keeping some charities going. So, but that's a whole thing within our business, is that element of giving back in our community. So if I'm bringing it all together, just checking on the time, you need your vision. So what is your purpose? What are your goals? What is it that you want the business to deliver? For us, that is around making people's lives better, but that could be, for another business, it's being innovative, it's being cutting edge, it might be a customer service element, it's whatever your vision is. Then to survey the staff, to benchmark actually how you are doing in delivering that vision and whether they feel that they are happy and they know their role in it, and generally what's working and what's not. Then you review the results, see where you might need to come up with a plan and where you're going to focus on. And then literally it is an eat, sleep, repeat situation. I like to think of a culture of a business as a live organism, is that the right word? Plant, organic thing, and that it's not a static, so it's not a checklist situation where you do all these things and then you get a great culture and you get a team that will deliver great service to the client. It doesn't work like that. It's moving all the time, and you have to be prepared to hear the feedback of when you're getting it right and when you're not getting it right. So if you're not getting it right, you can tweak it back in. You've got to be aware of all of the economic and social factors that are going on. And whilst you might be doing exactly what you did before, if the environment that we're functioning in, like through this period, has changed, then you need to evolve what you're doing to support the team. So it's simple, but not easy, would be my takeaway. And also you have to it's got to be a focus of the business as much as, like I said at the beginning, it's got to be a focus of the business as much as your marketing, as much as your financials, as much as your sales. So if culture is important to you, then it needs to have as much airtime and as much time and effort and creativity applied to it as those other areas. And that's all I've got. There's 10 minutes left. So if anyone has any questions, let's see if I can get off stop sharing. I don't know if any questions have come through. Let me have a look. Nicola, are employees involved in creating the vision? The way that we did it was it came from the senior team and the board. Really, because we had been driving it in that direction, we just hadn't done a great job of explaining it. So the vision really needs to come from your senior team or your founder or your owner as to what that looks like. The team might be able to, or a level of team might be able to get involved in what that looks like and what it feels like. But I'd say the vision really comes from your senior team. Is it disclosed to employees where they sit in the A player? That's a very good question. And we've actually, as a senior management team, we have debated that over the past little while and have come to the conclusion that we do share that in a broader way to explain to someone where we feel they are and then what training or what support that we're going to give them in order to get them to move box. So being in a box is not it's not like a static thing, and you might be in like your high performer, high potential, and then you might get a promotion or move into a different role, and you might move boxes temporarily whilst you get the skills in order to function at that level. So we do disclose it, but not in a brutal way. We try and package it in a positive way. How can junior team members encourage leadership to take this action? If I understand what you mean by that is that maybe you're not the person in charge. I did think about this when I was putting this together, and I think whatever area you're involved in, then you can apply the same principles to your particular area. So if you're got a small team, 4 or 5 people, then maybe you want to say what the vision for that group is like, what is your purpose within the business, and what can you do to support one another, and what numbers can you share? So it's a tough one when it's not coming from the top, but I think the principles can be applied to whatever sub groups that you might be involved in or leading. I hope that answers the question, and if I understood it correctly. We have any other questions? Show Q&A. Got a view of the over the value add for the business as a consequence. I'm not sure I understand that, and I'm not reading quickly enough. For the business as a consequence. I'm not sure, Les, I'm not sure I understand that, but if you wanted to send me another one, I'll try and answer it. Sorry, I'm not reading it very well. Anything else? Hopefully I've given it a good enough overview. I was thinking about it because there's so many little pieces. It's almost like your culture and all of the things are like a huge mosaic, and there's lots of tiny pieces that all come into play, and when you get them in, then you get to see the whole picture. So if you're starting from the beginning, it's really is to focus on the big pieces and to start to allocate the time, and then over time, because we've not ended up in this place. This has been a 10-year journey for us, and we're still learning. There's still things that we're adding in. There's still things that we're like, oh no, we've got that wrong. We need to change it and start again. So it's almost like you're creating this mosaic, and you just keep adding in more and more and more and learning more and more. Does creating a team brand linking with creating the vision, a team brand? Linking with creating the vision. I think they probably overlap. It depends, and there's one of the hard things around when you get into this kind of vision, purpose, Values is that we don't all use the same language. So we might be saying the same thing, but using a different word. I think the best thing, Tim, I would suggest is if you go on our website and look at our document, then you'll know how your team brand relates to what I'm talking about in terms of the vivid vision. Hopefully that makes sense. So you'll see if it's the same thing or whether your team brand might then link into what I've described as the vivid vision document. Revalue add. What you do is an investment. Got a view over the return in any way? It's a really good question, and some of it's an intangible, because people being happy and delivering to the clients is how do you view that? One of our benchmarks has been our retention of clients. So we have a 99%, over 99% retention of our current clients. We also survey our clients every 2 years through a third party, and have received great scores from that in terms of they're happy. We also send out annual reviews to our clients through a third party to ask about whether they feel that we are delivering, whether they are happy with the service, whether they feel like we understand their circumstances, whether they feel like we care. And we get a score from 1 to 5, and majority of them are in the 5s. I think probably our average score might be about a 4.8. That's also on the website. That's through working feedback. So if we were measuring on that output as to whether the input into the team who look after the clients, then I would say that's as close as we can from a measurable. Tom Peters has got some stats around when you get your culture right and you support the team, actually what that can do to the bottom line. I just can't remember what percentage he says, but there are studies around that. If you were, I guess, from the Harvard Business School and whatever else, there are studies around that. But for us, I would say our best gauge is the feedback that we get from our clients and as to how happy they are. And again, even just through lockdown, how the feedback that we've had from the clients through lockdown as to how well we've taken care of them, that how the team have gone above and beyond. We had our receptionists, obviously there weren't oodles of phone calls, and we definitely didn't have people coming into the office, but we had our receptionists calling a group of clients that we'd put on our vulnerable list who might have been recently bereaved and or were living on their own, to check in and make sure they weren't lonely. So we've had great feedback from just our clients feeling like we've taken good care of them through this period. But as a benchmark, I would say it would be our the CX Awards survey results and our ongoing survey results that we get annually on their rolling annual. Anybody got anything else? Hopefully I've answered all your questions. I don't know whether I'm supposed to sign off now or if someone comes in, pulls the plug on me.
Just a massive thank you from Pro Manchester, Gaynor. That's been really, really insightful. So thank you from all of us.
You're welcome.